Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Householders by Swami Jyotirmayananda, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's satsang, we will continue the importance of education and what is true education and the education system in Vedic times. We must understand that the education system as it was in Vedic times, the old times where the Vedas were coming true, people were following the traditional process of Gurukul system, etc. It was geared to enable a student to serve himself and society. Therefore, it was founded on discipline. Anyone who entered the school had to follow the Brahmacharya order, as we have covered before, which meant a complete discipline of the body, mind, and senses. In those times, every form of learning was called a Veda. If you were interested in martial arts, you studied Dhanur Veda and you learnt archery under a guru who taught you mantras related to archery. First, he disciplined you well, and then, when he found you qualified, he taught you archery. If you were interested in medicine, you had to follow the discipline of Ayurveda. Every branch of knowledge was considered a Veda, which implied that whatever you were learning, you learnt with humility and with a spirit of serving God in humanity, in human beings, always keeping in view the goal of life, self-realization. Thus, it was a holistic approach, not just a materialistic approach, as we do in today's world, where the focus is primarily to make money and to earn a living. That also used to happen in those days, but that was not the primary focus. The focus was on holistic development, ultimately leading you to self realization. So, the education and the four purposes of life. In order to understand education in its integral way, you should understand the four purposes of life, which we have covered before: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma, or the cultivation of ethical values, is the basic purpose of life and the foundation of education. All that you achieve and learn should be based on a sense of dharma or righteousness. You must possess a clear and sublime conscience. If dharma is not there, all your learning is in vain. If if dharma is not there, all learning is and accomplishments bring about a demoniac development. If a person who is undisciplined suddenly tumbles upon a great discovery, he may become a great man in the eyes of others. But from a philosophical and spiritual point of view, if his discovery and his attainment becomes a source of misery for others, that is demoniac development. Therefore, education must have its roots in dharma. The guiding line in an ideal educational system must be to promote harmony and goodness in people. One should never step beyond the principles of non-violence or ahimsa, truth, satya, and purity. Shauch, greed, violence, and passion must not be given license but are to be controlled. If a student starts his studies as a doctor, for example, with his mind set upon the idea, one day I'm going to be a millionaire and drive expensive cars, then he is off to a poor start in the light of dharma. He may set up a wonderful dispensary or hospital and become quite wealthy. But when money is his main inspiration, the result is not the product of true education. Although that is the type of education that the majority of people are seeking now, it is unfortunately not real education. People crave pleasure, and pleasure seems to be the goal of the present educational process. Students dream to have lots of money and power, the wealth to go anywhere they want, and the resources to own anything they want. However, an education that caters to these values is not real education, and an intellect that schemes for these things is called bhoga buddhi, intellect that wants only enjoyments. There is an ancient saying from the Mahabharata, Sukharthinaha kuto vidya. There is no knowledge for one who loves comfort. If you are a lover of pleasure and comfort, there is no knowledge for you. You are not qualified for education. Kuto vidyarthinaha sukham. If you are a student, how can there be comfort? There is no comfort for you if you are truly seeking knowledge. To shun comfort and luxury is not a miserable development, but rather a joyous development. Imagine a student who is just 25 years old and wants his head propped up by a soft pillow on an easy chair. He doesn't want to do anything but move little buttons on a computer and expects his parents to do all the heavy jobs at home. Outsiders observing the student may think he has become well educated, but what type of person will he become later in life? Life presents so many threatening and challenging situations if one has not been disciplined, if one is not accustomed to hard work, he is ill prepared to face those challenges. While teaching children, one must not be overprotective and thus spoil the child. If a child is not accustomed to having his ego shaken a little, if he has not developed any patience and endurance in bearing insult and injury, he has not been cultivating dharma as the foundation of his education. The second purpose of life is artha or economic position. Money is a means to a higher end. Just having money does not mean anything at all. Observe how so many people gain millions of dollars overnight in the lottery, yet that doesn't make any difference in the deeper quality of their lives. All the defects in their personality can even become more exaggerated. This effect is similar to what happens when you look into a magnifying mirror. When there is no magnification, your face looks gentle and fine, but look into a strong magnifying glass and you become a giant, and every hair looks like a big pole. That is what becoming suddenly rich can do. It does not in any way make you a better person. On the other hand, if you're earning money with a basic grounding in dharma, then the money that comes to you becomes a means for your self improvement, a means to helping society and performing good deeds. Used in this manner, it will not stir your vanity. The next and the third purpose of life is karma or developing social relationships, that is also a part of education. If you cannot adapt and adjust with people, if you cannot have harmony with friends and family members, then life becomes empty. No matter where you are or in what situation you are placed, you always find the challenge of different relationships. And if you cannot handle people with different moods and egocentricities, then life becomes empty. A person cannot live alone. Even if you were in the Himalayas, you will find that you are making friends with monkeys, birds, and squirrels. You will find some relationship to overcome loneliness. Kama is the value of life which allows you to live in harmony with others so that you are then free to plan how you can help humanity. To be able to expand and outgrow one's ego is the most profound aspect of education. A truly educated person is inspired by compassion to help others, and he places every talent he has in service to others. In that way, his talents increase more and more. Selflessness is the secret of discovering more and more talent and abundance within. Moksha or liberation is the ultimate purpose in life. The entire education process should lead you to liberation. In this stage, the knowledge that you gain is known as Paravidya. The Upanishads say that there are two types of Vidya or knowledge, Aparavidya and Paravidya. Aparavidya is the lower knowledge or relative knowledge, the knowledge that helps you in your day to day life. And within that knowledge comes all the sciences, all the arts, all the subjects that are taught in universities, etc. Paravidya, however, is the knowledge that is mystical. When you practice concentration and meditation and are guided by a guru, then you discover a knowledge which brings about a complete fulfillment of the urge to know, to advance spiritually. Paravidya is that knowledge by knowing which all is known. Paravidya is the attainment in which all educational systems must culminate. That is the goal. Keeping this in view, an ideal student should develop self discipline. He should strive to develop virtuous qualities like humility, patience, sincerity, and simplicity. He should practice self introspection and austerity. He should be self dependent. He should flow out of himself in service to humanity and thereby commune with God. There are great examples who followed these things, these ideals, and these are the great highlights of true education that must be followed. If you have these, you are really educated. Anything other than this is a deviation or lack of education. May God bless you with the purity of intellect that leads you to the supreme knowledge or liberation. Mukti, ultimate journey of life, no more rebirth. With this, we conclude our satsang for today. Tomorrow, we will start with the topic of integral education and freedom. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.